Okay. Now I go live here. Come on. Go live here. And then go live here. Got it? Oh. I don't know. Add. All right. Can I go live? Go live. Okay. Oh. Okay. Hi, my name is Lynette. I am an Abacus teacher. I teach Abacus to children, and I am just trying to get online everywhere. So I am just doing a little bit of housekeeping because I have to go. I want to go live everywhere. So I'm going live everywhere. All right. So let's get started. My name is Lynette. I'm an Abacus teacher. What is an Abacus? An Abacus is a tool to help, that thing right there. That's a tool to help um, children to learn how to count. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach a little bit about what the abacus is. And nope, this is what I want. That's what I want. So here's my abacus. My abacus is what helps. Let's do some counting, right? So here's my abacus, and this is where we want to know how to use the abacus. This is my teacher's abacus, and this is the beam. This beam tells us whether or not the beads are counted. So when I move this bead up, that means this bead is counted and not these, right? So this has a value of 1. So I am calling that this is 1, right? And then this is 2. 1, 2. How do I know? Just like items, right? This is 2. And then this is 3. This is 4. And hi, everybody on TikTok and StreamYard and everywhere else, and Facebook and YouTube and so forth. So I just wanted to talk about Abacus, and this is what the Abacus is about. And right now I'm at 4. Oh, I forgot to do this. So we had 1, right? So this is 1, and then this is 2, this is 2, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. These are 3 items. All of these has a value of 0. I'm sorry, all has a value of 1. And then this is 4. This has a value of 4. How do I know? Because I look at it, and when all these beads are touching this beam, this is what's being counted. So these are the ones column, right? And then I'm going to continue on. If you notice, I have no more beads at the bottom. So, hi, good morning, Jelly. There's no more beads at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize this top bead. This top bead is has a value of 5. This has a value of 5. So when we count, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 4, and then we're going to do 5. Right? My abacus is a little big, so that's why I got to use 2 hands. But typically with a small abacus, with a teacher's abacus, with a children's abacus, it's small enough for their fingers to do this, right? So on our small abacus, we have 4, and then we have 5. So, so then we continue to count. This is 6. How do I know this is 6? Well, this is 1 bead on top and 1 bead on bottom. This has a value of 5, so I'm going to be adding 5, 6. 1 bead will add it to make this value of 1 will make it 6. And so if anybody has questions, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I will answer all of your questions about abacus. So continuing on, we have 5, 6, and then 7. This is 7. What's 7? 5, 6, 7. We're counting the beads, and these beads are being counted because it's touching this beam. If the beads are not touching the beam like this is considered 0. So when it's touching like this, it's considered counted. So even on the small abacus, right, it's the same concept. If I do this, which is 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7. So we're going to continue on, and then we go 8. Well, this is 8. How do I know? 5, 6, 7, 8. When we count it, we have 5, and then 3. So the kids will also know that when you take away 5, we get 3. When you add 5, you get 8. So it's a little bit about seeing the patterns on the abacus. And so we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have 9. Ooh, 9. We have 9. So this is what 9 looks like. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I actually going to have a new class that's going to start today. Join from your short video. Oh, thank you. Hi. Somebody joined from my short videos. Fantastic. Thank you. Um, so going back to here, this column has 9, right? Just like this column will have 9. So this column and this column, they're kind of the same. It just depends on what the place value is. Go ahead and like or comment, or this is still very new to me. Comment, or like, or have any questions. If you have any questions about Abacus, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about Abacus. So going back, we have this column, and this is also 9. And if we take it a step further, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5. These are all 5s. Now, why are we doing this? Well, the difference between the difference between the columns is just how we do in regular math. It's the place columns, place value. So if this is the ones column, this is the tens column. So when we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And then we have 10. 10 is 1 and a 0, just how that is. Just like we write it, that's how it is. And I didn't put in numbers for the next ones, but this is 11. And then 12, 13, 14, and then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. So again, these are the tens, these are the ones. And then, so that's a little bit about counting on the abacus. So a little bit about me is I teach Abacus online. I do have a few I do have a few students that are learning how to do Abacus with math with an abacus. And the reason why we do Abacus is it gives them a visualization. It gives them something to manipulate, to touch, to maneuver, and be able to understand how the numbers move. So when we look at it, we want to supersize, and we know that this is 6, right? So then when we look at it again, we have, what number is that? Anybody know what number that is? Go ahead and answer. Go ahead and put the number in the chat. This is 4, exactly, right? Easy to see, right? So then when we start looking at it, it's super easy to be like, okay, well, then that's 5. And then the other thing was being able to count on. So children can count on, they start using the abacus to count on. So we can count what is counting on? Counting on means to be able to count not from 1, but from any number. So in abacus, we actually continue on and we count from 5. So we say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a very one of the important ideas for kindergarten skill, to be able to count on. And then it will expand, right? So if I have 9, the kids will know that this will be 10, and it's easy for them to see how to count on. So we have 12, right? 13, 14. And then, so let's say we have 35. Well, they know that, I'm sorry, 34. They know that this is 35, 3 and 5. And if they need to count on, they just need to add one more. So it's easy for the kids to see what counting on is. So if I just add one more bead, that's 37, right? And then if I add one more, it's 38, right? So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask. Um, I'm just going to say some highs. Um, so thank you for everybody for joining me. But so we're talking about abacus and how it is easy for the kids to be able to count on. So counting on is one of the kindergarten skills, and that's one of the skills that we teach in abacus class. And I have an abacus online class. If you're interested, let me know. Leave a comment, follow me, and I have more abacus, all about abacus. And so what we're going to do, so so, knowing this concept, let me see if I can find my notes. Knowing this concept, we can actually start looking at numbers, right? So if we did a little bit like, okay, so let me go back. So this is my ones value, right? So if I counted my ones, it is here. If I move, because this is my teacher's abacus, if I move my abacus to my marker to here, then this is now considered the ones column. So this would be considered 80, right? I can move my marker, and if this would be 800. So it's interesting to know that on the abacus, it's part of understanding um, what the place value is. On the student abacus, we can't move the markers, but if you notice, there's these dots. On the student abacus, there's these dots. These dots signifies the place value of 1, just like the teacher's abacus, but they don't move. So there's this dot here, or there's this dot here. They're used for indicators to signify where you're starting. Usually we start in the ones column, right? When we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. You could use this one, right? This dot over here. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. You could do that. Not a problem. So we're back to here on the teacher's abacus. So if I show you this number, anybody know what number that is? So if I show you this, right? This is my ones, this is my tens, this is my hundreds, and this is my thousands. So if I show this number, what number do you think that is? I don't have it written. I have to write it. Let me see if I can write it. All right, so let me get my pencil. Right. So this number right here is, right? This number here is, I don't know if I can, no, I can't do it. Okay, this number here, 7, right? 5, 6, 7, 4, right? 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2. Ooh, there you go. 742. That's the number that's here. No, when we count, it's not 2, 4, 7. It's 7, 4, 2. So what we're doing is we're counting just like what we write in the abacus. We write as we just like when we write regularly, we write on the abacus. So it's 742. So thank you for commenting, Simply Angel. Yes, thank you. Sung, it's 742. So the idea is how we write is how it gets translated. And the good thing about Abacus is that, it's easy to translate from what we see to how we write it. So some of the kids have problems with writing what this number is. And when they just copy the number, right, they look at it, this is 72. So that's why it's easy when they see these numbers, it's easy to relate and be able to count on. So when they count on, right, from 72, they could do 73 or they could do 74, right? So let's do another number. We have this number with this number with this number and that number. Do we know what number this is? I should take this off. There we go. That's confusing me. So, how do kids know when to use the +4 on the 1 and the 4 or the 1? It slows her down every time she needs to check, and I'm not sure how to help her. Ah, okay. So, we're going to go do a little bit more advanced. Now, how do you know? Well, okay. I'm sorry. Before I continue on, let me talk about what this number is. This number is correct. Michelle B, you are correct, and Sue G, it's 8,921. Yes, I understand, Michelle. When we start talking about the formulas, that's when there's a process of elimination, a process that the kids have to go through. So I'm so happy that everybody is here. Go ahead and leave a comment and I will answer as much as I can. So Michelle's question was, if I want to add, so let's start with the question. Let's start with the question. Let me add it. Let me add it to the thing. Um, Okay, what we're going to do is let's do this one first. Now, we can learn our doubles. That's not a problem. We can learn our doubles, 4 plus 4, whatever, right? But, okay, if I add 4 and I want to add another 4, the question that usually I ask my students is there enough beads to add another 4? That's the question that I always use every time. Is there enough beads? Excuse me. So if there's not enough beats to add 4, what's another way? Can we add the 5? So in one of my books that I created, this book that I created, we actually, what we do is I talk about, we have to go to the cats in the tree, and every cat, oh, I don't know if you can see that. Every cat, not every cat, but there's 5 cats in the tree. So what I did is I related to the cats in the tree. So going back, I want to go to the 5. Um, I want to go to the 5. So I need to add the 5, but in order to add the 5, I need to take away the 1. So if I grab 4 cats, right? Because I'm using 4, 1 cat runs away. So I use a story to talk about it. So one of the questions when I talk to my students is there enough beads? Yes or no? If not, then you use the 5. Is there enough beads to add the 5? So going a little bit further on, the question is, remember we have 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, right? So what we want to do is we want to add this 4. So we need to, so this is for adults to understand. We have, the kids would be memorizing the formula plus 4 is equal to plus 5 minus 1. So when we add the 5 and we take away 1, the biggest question is there enough? So now we have 8, right? Our question is 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4. Let me get a new marker. So we have 8 plus 4, right? So now the next question is there enough to add the 4? Can I add a 4? No. Can I add a 5? No. Can I add a 10? Yes. See how there's a process of elimination? So that's the steps to talk about. And it will slow her down in the beginning, but as they understand the process and the steps, they will go a lot faster. So talking about this, what is the 4? How do you make a 4 with a 10? Right? 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. So when we move this 6 over, right? When we want to add this 4, we need to take away the 6. So when I rewrite it, it's 10 minus 6. So I need to add the 10 and I need to take away the 6. Does that help, Michelle? Does that make sense? How I break it down. So every time the child looks at a question, no matter what, they would have to go through the process of elimination. And as they know the process, they will become more and more embedded. And it adds to the creativity on how to look at a problem, right? So instead of learning doubles and learning doubles plus 1, what can they do? And I'm not sure what level your child is in, but what they can do is they can start doing the process of elimination, right? Or the process it's formulaic. um, so sorry, just trying to move that. Okay, so when I start talking to my students, that's how I do it. I do a process of elimination. It's how she does it, but she always has to check. I just thought there was a faster way. It just seems that she gets used to seeing it. But it seems she gets used to seeing it. Yeah, the more she sees it, the more it will become ingrained. So depending on how many and it's a lot about practice too, right? Because the idea is to be able to supertize and to be able to move the beads. And then the next step would be the next step would be imagining the beads in her head. So I'm not sure how old your child is, but it will come in time where they can see the beads in their head and be able to move the beads. So it's in the beginning, it's a little bit slow, but it's time that needs to happen so they can put their memory in, not into working memory, but into long-term memory. So if that makes sense. Oh, she's 9. Oh, okay. That's fine that she's 9 and it takes her a little time, because don't forget, this is not a common thing, right? Learning abacus is not a common thing, and I'm assuming you're in America. So just the transition between the 2, it just takes a little bit longer to get used to it. So my students, I can I don't how old was your daughter when she started abacus? 'Cause I'm assuming it was, like, pretty recent, and even at 9, it's good to start abacus even though it's a little bit slower, right? But then when they do it more often, oh, yeah, see? 3 months ago, that's not a lot of time. Like, going through this, go she's doing fine. She's doing fine. She just needs to understand the concept. Once she gets it, she will be faster than all of us. But it just takes time to just see and recognize the beads, and she would be fantastic. So I have 3 boys, and they've all gone through the Abacus, curriculum, and they can whip through all of the questions a lot faster than I can, and I have to, like, slow down. They have to slow down for me if I wanna see what they're doing. So you're 3 months ago, you're fine. It's just she just needs to, like, start learning, like, how to do the stuff, and once it gets to be more ingrained, once it goes from working memory to long-term memory, it will be a lot quicker. So and then she'll be able to move the beads with no problem and no ease with no problem at all, but it does take a little bit. The kids are a little bit older. No, they were sorry, I have no idea. So wasn't sure if there was ways if there's a different way. No, there's not a different way. It was just a lot about practice and seeing it and understanding what's going on. So in my books that I have, what I did is I broke it up to specific problems, right? What does that mean? Well, what we do is we do the plus ones first, or plus four first, because that's a little bit, it's an easier concept. And then from there, they learn from plus 4, then they learn plus 3, and then they should learn plus 2, and then they should learn plus 1. So the why are we doing that? Because I want them to see how the numbers look in each scenario. So when we have 4 and we add 4, so add another 4. So the question is plus 4, 4 plus 4, and they want to see that this is a pattern. One beat on top, one beat on bottom, and it moves, right? So the next question that they'll should see would be this one, right? 1, 1 plus 4, and they'll see that there's a pattern that goes through. When they recognize that there's patterns, it's a lot easier for them to move, if that makes sense. So a lot of abacus, a lot of math per se, just math in general, it's all about patterns. Abacus helps translate all the patterns. So the next question is this one, right? So it'd be 2 and then add 4. So when we add 4, we want to add the 4, we want to plus the 10, plus the 5, and then take away the 1. This is the pattern that they will see when they want to add the 4, right? And then 3. So the next question would be 3. And again, the pattern is adding the 5, take away the 1, right? When we want to add the 4. It's the same pattern is if we did 9 plus 4. I didn't add the question for it. So let me take that off. Um, So going back, if I want to add 4 to 9, the pattern is plus the 10 minus the 6, right? So then next question would be 8. 8 plus 10. Well, I'm sorry, 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 is plus the 10 minus the 6. So the pattern is there. When she notices that there's a pattern for all of the numbers, it'll be a lot quick. She will be very quick. So I hope that helps. Yeah. It's a set of steps, and it's a set of patterns, but it's also a process of elimination. So in Abacus, we do a lot of analysis, and that translates to like more complex math. So like algebra and calculus and trig and so forth. So I hope that helps. But yeah, Abacus is the gateway to more complex math. um, so going back to doing random numbers, and that's what I have. I mean, if anybody else has questions, I hope that was helpful. And so it's a process of elimination. But yeah, Albert Einstein said that he's not the quickest person in math, and he took a long time to understand math. And I always relate to, if Albert Einstein can do math and it takes him a long time, we can all do it. And I truly believe that. But it's not, as they understand the numbers and they go through and build a solid number sense, they will become faster. They will become faster, hands down. It just takes time to like recognize and understand. I'm not sure about those students or people that have dyscalculia. That's a new term for me that I didn't understand. I don't know how that works. Um, if anybody wants to try it, let me know and how it goes. Okay, so that was talking about the reason why. Oh, that was the other thing. In school, I'm going to carry on with this. In school, the school actually teaches to do the 5 frame. And so in Abacus, we talk about the 5 frame. What is the 5 frame? In school, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will notice, I think they started in kindergarten, where they talk about, okay, if I have if I color in 4 boxes, how many boxes is left? So children will know that if I do 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, right? That's as far as it goes, right? The school also does 4 plus 1. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. But in Abacus, we actually take it one step further, and we mix up the numbers a little bit, mix up the equation a little bit, and we say 5 minus 1 is equal to 4, or 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. So we actually use this concept to manipulate, to work through our abacus, if that makes sense. So I really like how we in school we're taught this. In abacus, we strengthen it and we take it to the next level. So when we're doing the 4, right? When we're looking for the 4, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding, oh, that was the other thing. Let's say we had 24. So instead of learning, so we had the question 24 plus 4. Well, again, we talk about this 4 here is 24. The question is there enough beats to add 4? No. So what we're going to do, we're going to add the 5 and then take away with 1, because that would be the formula, because this is the 4 that we're talking about. I would have to reword that. So, all right. Does anybody else have questions? I'm looking in all the chats to see if there's any questions. So going back to counting and adding. Okay, so we're gonna start doing adding. So that was one question, and then we're gonna add. So what I've noticed in school is they don't start from 0. Abacus starts from 0 because that's how we clear our abacus. We need to have a clean abacus in order to start a question. So so we always start from 0 when we do anything. So it's easy to relate what 0 is for the kids. It means nothing, right? None of the beads are touching this beam. And then in well, that didn't help. In class, in my class, in my workbooks. So I have a workbook that I've created. In the workbook, we this is the preschool one. There's going to be another one where we actually start going into adding and subtracting more quickly. But in the workbook, what we do is we start off with understanding how to add 1. So the first thing we want to do is we want to learn how to add 1. When we want to add 1, we're only using the 1 bead, right? So we start from 0. So the question is 0, and then we plus the 1. So the idea is that the kids will see what the 1 bead looks like. So here is 1 plus 2. These are the two beads I want to add, right? So we're going to do that. Okay. So when we add, it's these two beads. They know that these two beads are touching. So this is adding 2. And now I need to clear my abacus to go to the next question. And then I have 2 plus 2. So notice I don't have any formulas. I'm just going through and I'm just moving the beads too. We are here because my marker is here. My marker tells me that I'm on the ones column. I'm just checking to see if there's any questions. Anybody have questions? Because I'll continue on just simply adding on the abacus. And this is to see the beads, how they move. So we have 5, right? Well, we know that the top bead is 5, so we add the 5. When we add the 5, we just need to add 2 because the next question is add 2. So my answer is 7, right? So we have 5, 6, 7, and the kids will start to understand how to move or how to read the abacus as they go through. They'll start learning how to read the abacus faster and faster. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Um, wow. So I have 3. Welcome, everybody. I'm happy you're here. Okay. So I'm just going to continue on with adding. In any questions, let me know. So if I have 6 and I want to add 2, this is adding 2, right? And then in this book that I have, I actually have I drew out the abacus so they could see the beads that are being moved. So this one specifically is -3. So what we're doing here is we're taking away 3. The idea was the kids will see that we're moving 3 beads away. And that's the other thing that I've noticed is kids later on in school, I've heard that they have problems understanding the concept of subtraction, which is really interesting because in abacus, when we teach them, because we teach them to push up, to add, we also teach them to take away. When we take away, we are subtracting. So the concept of subtracting is not foreign for my students, for our students. So kids because they could see the item being removed, whereas whereas if you go to no Yeah. So if you go to these symbols, right? These are symbols. This is 7 take away 5. We're asking the children to visualize what 7 looks like, and we're taking away what 5 is. Whereas on the abacus, we could say, this is 7, and we want to take away the 5. They could see it and they can remove it. So that was one thing to be able to have the kids to be able to see and touch and move, because the idea is that they need to, not need to, but it helps that they move with their hands or move with their fingers when they add and subtract the beads. And that helps solidify the concept of the numbers, because these numbers that you see on the screen that says 7 and 5, these are actually just symbols. These are symbols that really have no meaning. But when you go on the abacus, there's meaning to it. So when I show what 3 beads are, this is what 3 looks like. I see 1, 2, 3, right? It's like letters, right? Letters are symbols. The problem with letters is that they have to be combined to make a word. The difference is the numbers don't have to combine to make a number. The number itself, has a lot more meaning to it. But the problem is we're asking children to visualize what the 5 looks like. So if you notice, when we say 5, we always have to put up our hand. Let's count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or we can go on the abacus. Okay, show me what 5 looks like. And that's it. Hi, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm just going to continue on to talk about more abacus. And I'm just taking a little, I'm just saying hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm on TikTok as well and just kind of going through. Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? Let me know if you have any more questions. I'm planning to come every Wednesday here. And if you want to, like, even if you have like specific questions, like your child is having a problem with this one process, let me know. I am here to help. thank you so much for joining, and you have a good day. But I'm going to continue on. But I will be here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time to answer any questions you have. But yeah, um, yes. And I really think that Abacus can be fun, but I also made like activities. So just to show, like I made activities to make it fun for the kids. So I actually have to prepare for my new student today. And my new student today is 7. And I'm going to be talking about bead recognition. And I think I'm going to do is I'm going to show them a maze. And then this maze is you have a label that starts here. And when you start here, we read what the number is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them color in the beads to say, okay, how many beads is touching this beam? And then provide the concept that this is 4. So what they're going to do is they're going to move down to the answer here that's 4. I don't want to color it in just yet because I'm going to go through the class like this. So here I'm at this number. So then they're going to count if this is 5, this is 6, this is 7. So then this abacus is 7. Where is my 7 on my maze? And they just go up to follow the maze. And so that was one of the things. I really do like mazes. I like mazes and I like puzzles. So I made another puzzle. So this is the one that I was working on with one of my students. I made a puzzle, and the puzzle was the abacus. So I had an abacus here, and then I had them trace the number. This is me, but I had them trace the number, and then we were cutting too. So I had it where they would cut, and the idea was to get them to practice their motor skills, right? Because at this student that I was working with was is 4, and it was my first class with him, and I noticed that he doesn't cut very well, obviously, because he's only 4. So my activities have a lot of cutting, coloring, tracing, and making sure that they can strengthen their motor skills. So that's where this comes in, where I have it. Some of the puzzles are more in the back because this was trying to make abacus more fun. So I have it where they can do a mushroom hop, or this one is like a maze, follow the boxes, and then they're adding and subtracting. I try to make a game. This is a game where they would, and these are the instructions of the game, and then these are the questions. Oh, here's my other puzzle. So here's the puzzle where you answer the question and then you try to find the answers to the thing. So, anybody have any questions? Let me know. Hi, Tony Hardy. I'm sorry, I just noticed my TikTok. I'm on TikTok too. Frankenstein. Hi. Hello. 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 We're talking about abacus. So those were some of the activities that I have created, and I am just going to talk more about abacus. And then I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just kind of going through my head like what we're going to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to start with the number 8 on the abacus with my first student. Like this is the very first, but he is 7, so he should know his numbers. So maybe we start off with 8 and then we carry on. But I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add some maze, so then it's more interesting to do certain things, to understand what. Oh my goodness. Um, Anybody have any questions? I'm looking back to see if I have any questions. I don't see any questions. So, um, looking at questions. I'm looking at questions. Okay. No more questions. All right. So um we have our maze, and then we have our abacus. So this is the abacus and we were counting. Um this is the book I was talking about where I've created and trying to make it more exciting for the kids. So I have it where they can. The first thing is to understand the beads, right? So this is just tracing and trying to find the number, and then write the number. So this is the 5, and then I added a bucket because every lesson has a sticker. So there's 12 lessons in this book. So the idea was that every time they finished a lesson, they can put in a sticker on the book. And this was a color by number, And then this was the pixel art. So the idea was that they color in the have their own color key. So and then they read what the abacus is. So what number this is 2, right? So they color in maybe they color this in red. And then they have to find all the twos. So this one is about number recognition with the bead. And a lot of it is trying to relate the number with the abacus. And that's what I was doing with this book. This book is focused on abacus because I would want them to get them to understand how to relate these numbers, this item, to the abacus. So this is one dinosaur. I want them to trace the number and then I want them to find the abacus. So this is what this is. And then this was just a nice maze, like follow the path. They would trace the number. They see and they read the number 0, right? So or this is they know that this is the word 1, and then they will have to find the abacus that goes with it. So I have it where they trace the number, right? They need to write the number at the top, they need to write the number at the bottom, and then they have to find their way to get to it. So if this is 1, they have to find the abacus that's in the bottom of the 1. Yeah. Great. So let me know if you have any questions. Even if you have children in Abacus class, not even my Abacus class, but any Abacus class, and you have any questions, let me know. I am here to help. I am all about helping and making sure that kids understand what the greatest thing of Abacus. Abacus is the greatest thing next to sliced bread. So I like Abacus. Again, Abacus is the beginning of math, right? So, this is not the end all, but it is a really solid, strong foundation. We can do multiplication and division on the abacus, and then from there they can go on to doing more complex math that happens in like what trigonometry and calculus and algebra and pre-calc and all that good stuff. But in the beginning, what we want to do is have a solid foundation of what an abacus is and what the numbers are. So we have a solid number sense foundation of hi, hi Tony. Um, I'm trying to look at both places for both my TikTok and my stream. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to know more about Abacus, I have a class or I have a book that I've created. I've created a few books actually. I have like 6 books. I'm actually in the process of creating my seventh book. My seventh book, and my seventh book will be talking about the minus tens. So I'm going to have the plus tens, the minus tens, the plus fives, the minus fives, and the so. What does that mean? Oh, reconnecting. Oh no. Okay. So in this book, I really like this book. We talk about the 10 frame. And in this 10 frame, we figure out how to use the 10 and then how do we use it in the abacus. And so there's instructions in this to utilize the 10 frame. And and um I have activities and understanding how to use the asteroids, which is the 10 frame. So if this one was, so we're talking about adding the 9. So here we're adding the 9. What we need to do is we need to take this 1 and we need to move it over, and it becomes a new equation, which is this. If I want to add the 9, I want to add the 10 and then take away the 1. So I have to go to the 10 column, add the 10, and then take away the 1. So that's what that is. I'm just looking to see if I have any questions. So, going back, so in this question, we have 9 plus 9. You can learn your doubles, not a problem. Not a problem. But in Abacus, we don't learn our doubles. What we do learn is we learn our fundamentals. So in the question, we have 9, right? And so when we want to add another 9, we need to plus the 10, take away the 1. So what does that mean? Well, we need to plus the 10. We add the 10 from this side. Yeah, there we go. We add the 10. That's what this is. That's what plus 10 is. When we add the 10, right? 10 is too much. We have to take away the 1. So if you notice, if I want to add 9, I can utilize the 10 and the 1. So we add the 10, we take away the 1. And that's the pattern the kids will see. So if I have 8 and then plus 9, it's plus the 10, take away the 1. So then I get 17. And again, right? If I have 7 and I want to add 9, it's the pattern that the kids will see. It's plus the 10, take away the 1. So that book is actually this book. And this book is available on Amazon as well. Um, I try to make the books inclusive with all the instructions, so then you can go through it and understand and try to help your child and teach your child. Or you can join my class. I do have an online class. It is a pre-recorded videos explaining how to use the numbers and how to add the questions. So, and I go through every page in this book in my class, I go through every page to explain what it means to go through these. But I try to make it as much information as possible so you could do it on your own. But this is available on Amazon. So that's my book. I like my book. Yeah, this is my sixth book. So I actually have one that does coloring book. This is the preschool book. I have a preschool book where we talk about adding from knowing our numbers from 0 to 9. And then I have a Christmas book and we count from 0 to 20. And then I have a Halloween book that I created that goes from 0 to 10. But there's no adding in this one. There's adding in the Christmas book. And then there's the +5 with who, which we're adding and subtracting on that one too. And that's what this is. So adding +5 with who is talking about the 5 frame. This one +10 is talking about the 10 frame. So that's the difference between the two. Now, why are we doing the two different ones? Well, because it's this 5. The 5 is the 5 frame. Excuse me. Right. And so knowing and understanding what the 5 frame is right here, and how to utilize it. So if I was talking about 4 and I want to do and I want to add 3. So the question is, where's my question? 5. Okay, so I have a 5. No, that's simple. I want to do this one. So okay, yeah, 3. So here, 3 plus another 3. The question is 3, I want to add another 3. Is there enough beads to add a 3? No, there's not enough beads to add the 3. So what do is I need to utilize this 5. This is where the 5 frame comes in, and you'll understand what the 5 the and you understand what how to make a 5, right? To make a 5, it's 2 plus 3, right? Because why are we doing 3? Because the question is 3. I'm looking for right? So in our 5 frame, if I redid my 5 frame, if I redid my 5 frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We know that if I color in 3, I have two, I have two, I have 2 squares left, right? So to do 5, it's 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So why do we need to know this? Because we want to utilize this 5. Right? So the question is 3 plus 3. So we add the 3 and we have to add another 3 because we don't have enough beads. We need to add the 5, right? But notice there's a 2 in there, right? There's a 2. So we need to when we are looking for this 3, we need to take away 2. So it's 3 is equal to 5 minus 2, right? So 5 minus 2. So I add the 5, but 5 is too many. I have to take away 2. That's what that means. All right. All right. Anybody have any questions? It's about 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I could talk a lot about Abacus. And it's all about words, right? It's all about numbers. I'm sorry. It's all about numbers. And then that would be talking about like not talking, but I mean so those are the books. So yeah, so I have my books. So that's what those are. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a Abacus maze. Okay. Let's see. So I do have, if you're interested in some more, what I did have is I created a Abacus calendar for 2025. And I also have questions to help parents with understand, like having prompt questions. Let me remove this. having prompt questions okay. So we're talking about the calendar. And if you're interested, you can go to my website and download it. I'll send you a link. Let me know and I'll put it in the comments. Here is the January of 2025, and I have it where we have the days of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I also this is kind of small, but I have it in quarters, and then I have it in a regular like one page. So right now we're in February, and what I did was for the number one, I show what an abacus is. And so here you can do is you can talk about what the number one is. It happened on a Saturday, and what was what's after Saturday is Sunday. And so we could talk about the sequentialness. I don't even think sequentialness is a word, but you could talk about the sequence of the numbers of the days of the week, right? If we're here on the 5th, right, you can ask, well, what was yesterday? Well, yesterday was the 4th, right? How many beads is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could talk about, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is the 6th. So if tomorrow is the 6th, I'm going to move. There we go. So I'm going to talk about the 6th. The 6th is Thursday. So today is Wednesday, right? Tomorrow is Thursday. So I have questions that talk about, like, can you find today's number? Today's number is is number 5. And so I have it where these are hollow so the kids can color in the abacus, so they can kind of do the more of the bead recognition, right? This one, oh, there's two sets. One is the regular, right? That looks like this because it's supposed to mimic this, right? You have beads on the bottom, you have beads on the top. Here you have beads on the top and the beads on the bottom, but these beads are not touching. I don't know if you can see that. Those beads are not touching, but I did simplify it because if it gets a little bit too much to see, because it is a lot to see, I did simplify it where it's just the counted beads that we're talking about. So that's the difference. There's the counted beads, and then there is the counted beads. This has counted beads as well, but they also have the other beads. So that would be like the regular beads. So if you notice, there's a difference. So you look at 16. 16 only shows the counted beads, and then this 16 is the regular abacus. So that's the difference between the two pages. But I do provide a regular abacus and a simplified abacus if the regular abacus is too much to see, because it does get a little bit much. Like when I look at this one is the simplified because I didn't have a lot. But then when I look at, I'm trying to find it. Nope, I can't find it. There was another one. So I do provide both of them, both versions. But if yeah. So let me know if you want it. I will have it in the. Oh, this is what I was thinking about. They color in. They color in the abacus. I'm trying to find. I don't have it. I guess I don't have it. I didn't print it. Oh well. All right. So this is the month in the calendar. If you're looking for it, I mean, I did the calendar for the whole year for the quarterly, and then for this month I have it for February. Right. February has both the regular abacus and the simplified abacus. Let me know. It's my links in the bio if you want the abacus, if you want the calendar. It's free. It's free. Just send me a comment and I will send you the link. I believe my link is in the bio. I'll have to double check it. But yeah, but you'll get it if you just go there. But I do have that and that. So then there's a whole year of that, and what else? Oh, and then there's the questions. So there's prompt questions, right? Like, what season are we in? And so this is a lot about like understanding just the calendar itself. So I created the calendar that's available for you. Yep, for free. Just send me a comment and I will send you the link to download it. Yeah. So let's see. Anybody have questions on what the abacus is? Okay, so I think I'm going to sign off. I think that's a fair amount of time. Anybody have questions? Any questions? We are going to go. Let's see. I think this worked well. Yeah, this worked really well. Any questions? No questions. I don't see anybody have any questions. Okay. Let's see. So I have books. Oh, this is what I want to do. So here is my, oh, that's the calendar. You can go to Abacus/Abacus month, and you can get my calendar. You can get my calendar. Uh, anyways, so that's what this is. But Abacus is everywhere, and this is really cool. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but there was a movie called Wonka. It's a recent movie too. It just came out like last year. So this year is 2025. Last year was 2024. And there was a character. I don't know if anybody knows, but there was a character and his name is Abacus Crunch. And I was like, "Oh my god, there's more Abacus." So Abacus is really everywhere. If you notice, he actually has an abacus right here. It's a different type of abacus. It's an abacus that goes like across, but it's the same concept, right? It's moving beads. And yeah, his name is Abacus Crunch. I don't know. I love Abacus, but I would not name my child Abacus. Just saying. My kids have regular names. Anyways, so his name is Abacus Crunch. And he was in the movie, and it was kinda cool. And then there's another movie that had an abacus. I don't know if you guys knew. This one. Anybody know this movie? This movie, anybody know? It's, Penguins of Madagascar. And it was, Rocky, I think it's Rocky. He was the one that pulled it out of his, stomach, and this one is actually a Chinese abacus. How do I know? This Chinese abacus is a 2-in-1. So if you look, but he's holding it the wrong way. He's holding it like this. You're actually supposed to hold it like this. Actually, you're supposed to hold it flat like this. So he's actually holding it the wrong way. I was like, all right, but at least it's still an abacus, and I thought that was kind of funny. So there's another thing. So it was in the Penguins of Madagascar. This one. So this one is a game that one of my children was playing with, and one of the characters actually uses an abacus, and it's called the pulverizing abacus. And I was like, that is crazy. I mean, this abacus is not really um this abacus, I don't know what abacus this is, but it's an abacus. And again, it's more movement beats. And I thought that was kind of funny. It's like, oh my god, they made a character their weapon is an abacus. Who would have thunk their abacus can be a weapon? It can be a weapon, right? Anyways, so that was one of the things. That was a game. This was the game. The game was Empires and Puzzles, and the character was Pulverizing Abacus. His speed is average. Meh. Destroys all minions from all enemies. Oh, deals 180% damage to all enemies. Meh. All right. Anyways, so that was one game. So this one was a book. One of my friend was telling me that he read a book, and in the book they actually made an abacus out of acorns. So this book it's an older book, but it's one of those books that so the character here is is a blind a blind child, and the mother or the parents didn't want her to go to school, so she's had to be homeschooled. She had to stay home, but in order for her to learn and so forth, they didn't want to keep her dumb, right? They wanted to make sure that she continues on learning. So they did is they actually made an abacus with acorns, and so this way, this is the way people counted for many, many years. It says 2,000 years. This is the first needle. Oh, so it says here the first needle will stand as the ones. So in the book, they said the first needle, would be considered the first needle. These are the ones. And then it says, and the second one are the tens. This is the second needle. So they had acorns. So this would be an acorn. That's an acorn, right? There'd be 5 acorns, one acorn on top and one acorn on the. Well, actually, I don't know if they did it this way. I'm just assuming, right? So the first needle was this, the second needle was that, and then the third needle is the hundreds. So this is the hundreds. So that's how it all related. So in this book, Hannah, it's a young girl with big dreams. And It's one of those historical fiction, I think it is. So there's an abacus in there. And oh, abacus may not be, what did I say? I don't know. I'll have to rearrange that. Okay. So the next one was Match Factory. I got really involved with this game. And I'm gonna okay, so it's about 10 o'clock. I'm gonna sign off pretty soon. I just want to do one more last thing. So here I'm in the Match Factory. It was kind of cool because in the Match Factory, if you see, there's the abacus. Can anybody locate where the abacus is? Can you see that? Isn't that crazy? In this game, there's an abacus. It's one right here. Yep, and one is right there. So if I do another one, right? Do you see the abacus? So the idea for this game was to match 3, and it just happens to have an abacus in there, and I thought that was kinda cool. So that's it for me. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and thank you for watching, and I will hope to see you next week. I'm gonna do it again, next week, next Wednesday at 9:00 AM, Pacific Standard Time, 9 AM. I will do another open office hour to answer any questions you have about the abacus. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or like and subscribe and comment, and I will see you later. Bye. End stream. End.